Welcome back to the Homies Hub. It's your boy with another video, another banger. Before we start, we pushing the Discord heavy. Join the Discord if you want to talk about dating overseas, dating in Colombia, becoming a digital nomad, and just opening more opportunities for those of you guys that would like to be a part of this passport bro travel lifestyle, dating lifestyle, or anything of the sort. I'll be adding much more different kinds of content and crafting this perfectly well. So let's get into it. So, why are men becoming passport bros? Okay. Well, for us to deeply understand why men are becoming passport bros, we have to really just take a look at what the dating scene is currently in the US. Okay. Right now, the US dating game is freaking trash. It's garbage. And because I know it's garbage in the USA, all the other Western countries take after the US. It's obviously going to be trash in different places as well. Now, what are some of the things that have led to the dating game becoming trash in the US and in other parts of the Western world? Obviously, I live in the US. I'm going to focus on the US. I think the biggest thing, number one, is probably going to be feminism, if that isn't obvious. Okay. Feminism has meant women wanting to be more masculine, and instead of them seeking to have an equal balance between men and women, it's really just turned into a dominatrix game of women trying to, supersede men. So you see this in the workplace, you see this in dating, why marriages are not lasting, on kind of on average 5 years is kind of the limit. And women are leaving men because of irreconcilable differences, finances, and then I think the third leading one was cheating. Um, so that's that. Right? That's just feminism is kind of destroying the longevity game. But now let's talk about the short term dating, right? Just short term dating. You just getting to know a girl. Dating applications, dating apps have just made it much worse. And when I say dating apps, I'm talking about social media as well. These women are getting attention from all over the place. And let's talk about how just like the algorithm in general has just really destroyed the social consciousness of just like women, right? Like number one, when a woman posts a picture, posts any picture, it immediately gets more reach. Um, Hence why a lot of my covers are with girls because it instantly gets way more reach. It gets pushed much, much further instantly. Women are getting incentivized and, through likes and shares and comments and now money to basically be nude, right? So that's already setting off red flags in our heads. So that's that, right? Just like the algorithm is crushing it. Then secondly, it creates this illusion of just having all of these options where you're getting all these DMs. You're still getting the same level of dopamine if you're a woman as you would going out to the club by getting a bunch of DMs, right? And you don't even have to get dressed. You could make shift yourself to look however you want and get all of this attention. And now this leads to just more than attention. Money starts falling in your, account. Men will send you money to get your attention. Men will pay for your OnlyFans. Men will fly you out, right? So you're already in a world now where you're getting attention from all angles, right? You're getting attention from all angles 24/7. And you don't have, as a woman, it's already hard to have a scarcity mindset, but it basically like deletes the possibility of even having a scarcity mindset as a woman because you have all these options on the internet. Now, breaking down and just being able to understand that aspect when it comes to women. Now let's look at you as a man that's trying to attract a woman. You are competing with so many different men. She has no real reason to like take you serious. And we know women's nature. Women by nature are hypergamous. So they go for men that are of a higher class, especially physically and financially. I think the most carnal one is like the physical attraction to muscles, height, what looks like strength and good genes. And then we have money. These women have a mixture of both. And women are going to play this to their advantage. They don't have to get with a man because of necessity no more. The government takes care of them, things like that. So in the Western world, they can be very picky with the men that they want to entertain. typically women are going to entertain men that are already entertaining multiple women, and it's obvious. Your Instagram has now become social proof, and even if you match everything that she's looking for in a guy, you're not really significant because there's other guys just like you. Right now she has access to men across the world. There's other guys that are just like you that's floating into her DM. Before, all a woman had, if we're talking like 1,500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, even 100 years ago, all a woman had were the men that were directly in her line of sight, in her village. You know what I'm saying? By the creek, by the river. You know what I mean? Like those were the only men that she saw, right? Going to the market. Now she can see men that's in Dubai. She could see men that's in France. All these rich men who naturally have a much larger appetite for women. They're probably sourcing through hundreds of women. Your girl knows that she has that kind of dude on her body, ready to talk to her and do things for her. It instantly lowers your value. So now men are having a much harder time trying to procure a woman, at least long term, because the women are so ready to leave relationships faster. Men feel like, they have to work 10 times as hard, 20 times as hard to get less. So they're thinking to themselves, why am I going to go about this, this dating game that's really designed and programmed to benefit women when I can just escape that and just go overseas? I don't have to have a woman telling me how good of a man I would be, but I'm not good enough to be her man when I can just go overseas. And let's now talk about some of those benefits as well, right? You're going to take a girl out and spend what could be $200 to $300 on a date just for a chance to see if you guys are going to go far or not. A lot of the times, you guys don't even go far. Some dates don't even turn into a second date. That same money, you could go out there and you can flex with girls that are 4, 5, 6 points higher than her. You're dealing with tens, nines, eights. Any one of those girls, a seven inside of Colombia is easily a nine or a 10 over here in the States. So you can go get all of those girls and get way farther with them, like all the way to home base, if not even further. Her cooking, cleaning, washing feet, all types of things. You can get that out there. And the woman will say things like, well, you have to pay for that, or she's just using you for money. But hey, that's what the dating game has turned into now. Like, you guys are realizing that you don't have to date to find a husband. You can date to get a check. You know what I mean? You can play around with men to get a check, to get your bills paid. So it's like, if we're going to talk about, selling yourself, Western women have already made that choice that they're going to sell themselves because of the level of attention they're getting. They can't smash all these dudes. They're not going to smash all these dudes, but all these dudes could send them a cash app. All these dudes can give them dopamine on their likes. All these dudes can click and watch their videos and get them paid by, some kind of AdSense. So we're already talking about globalized prostitution, like literally globalized prostitution. It's not legal in the US, but it's digitally legal, obviously. So that's what's going on over here. And it gets much deeper than that, but that's for a whole nother video. That's probably for a Patreon video.
I be
So
submissive for you.
economically
Hold that
making
pistol
sense in
for
this
you.
hard economy,
Blowing
are you going to
kisses.
be spending 15 to 20% of your income just dating? Or are you going to just get your passport, fly out to a different country where things are cheaper, go bananas, come back, and you start realizing that a lot of these girls you're chasing wouldn't even be a four if they were in Colombia or Brazil? Like, why even? And this is why I say, like, going to Colombia was really the cheat code for me, right? Because I slowly started realizing that the dating game was favoring women, right? The dating apps favor women. Like, women could already see who likes them and who has interest in them just for being a female. As a guy, you have to pay for that because the people that own the dating apps already know that dating is not advantageous for you. And for me, I encourage men to leave the dating game in general. Just stop dating, stop pursuing women through these apps. I know it's hard because sometimes we get those nights where we're kind of needy. I still do it. But the goal is to leave these dating apps so that that you dry these women out. Like, just dry them out. Starve them of that attention that we're giving them. Because every time I see a baddie on the gram, there's like 100 comments. What's the at? What's the at? What's the at? It's like you're fiending to give this girl attention, and indirectly you're just making your dating life harder, because if you were to run into that girl in real life and maybe you would have had a chance, she is reminded that there's a million of yous in her DMs, and she's just like, "Oh, you're just another dude. If I really want a dude, I can hit him up." And that's the power they have. Women are like outrageously powerful in the dating game today in the Western world. But where women are not advantageous in the dating world is in these third world countries like Colombia. Not saying they're not, still winning over there. They're winning, but you're really the one that's winning compared to what you have to deal with over here in the States. So men are just tired of it. Men are getting their passports. They're going to Colombia and they're dealing with women that are much more feminine, submissive, friendly, and like passionate. Like those women over there in Colombia compared to here are so passionate, so feminine, so sweet. And even if they're putting on an act, people say, "Oh, she's just putting on an act." I mean, she must be putting on this act all the time because she's like this with everyone. Even her local Colombian guy that can't offer her nothing, he's still getting a feminine version of a woman, even though he can't really afford to support her. Over here, a woman makes more money than you. You're basically a piece of trash. Like that's it. You do anything that don't fall in line with what she has in mind for you. It's automatically entertaining other men, doing things like that. Dating isn't fun over here. It's not really something that, men don't really want to settle down with some of these women anymore because they've turned this being equal and being on fair terms thing into a trap where it's really just to control you. You right? Like as a man. They're just trying to control you, make sure that you're the submissive one, you're the one that follows her lead, and you're not winning. And you instantly, have to start dropping all these, side chicks that you may have had, to be with her, and she can pretend drop all of her guys. But we know girls never lose any of these guys. They always have an orbiter. But you as a dude, you stop fanning the flame for any one of your side chicks, they're gone. That's it. They're gone. These chicks, they don't have to talk to any of these dudes. These dudes are always going to be around. So social media, you know, the algorithm, feminism, government assistance, all of these things is like destroying dating. And dating is just modern days like humans' way of courtship. So if you're already destroying the courtship game, you're going to make it less likely for the family structure to then be made, which makes it less likely for tribes and villages and um, societies to be formed, and now everyone starts becoming individualistic where now we're literally catching women try to become passport bros because they're not getting what they want out of the men here, so they're going overseas for that. That's a video I want to do. Somebody remind me to get on top of that video. I do have a short about that, which doesn't make any sense to me, right? Where it's like, okay, like the reason why you're not staying with these men is because of finances and infidelity, but you're going to go over to a third world country and entertain men that don't have the finances and are definitely not being faithful to you. You know what I mean? Have whole families and baby mamas that they got to take care of. Doesn't make sense. I don't get it. But in my honest to God opinion, women are the ones that are currently destroying the dating market. Like because of this newfound power they have, men know what to do with power. Sometimes men do go a little bit kind of overboard, but it's always regulated where we know not to just go to war with another man just because we know there's losses you're going to take. Women haven't been in a position of power for that long, so they don't understand how they're destroying the dating game and pushing men overseas. And more men that find channels like mine are going to keep going overseas and keep finding women that's going to be submissive. And as long as the US stays on top, if you are a US citizen with US income in a third world country, you're king. So men are figuring out I don't even have to deal with this woman. I can find a woman that's two times more beautiful than she is in another country that's going to be two times more receptive to me. At least for me, I'll tell you what my life is like. I'll DM some girls, and I'm talking about a girl that's probably a 6 or a 7 in a global scale, and I might not get a hit back. I can DM a 9 or a 10 that lives in Colombia, and 7 out of 10 times I'm gonna get a hit back. That's just the truth of it. And I'm gonna get a meetup, and I'm gonna be able to try to work my flow and try to see how I can get this girl to like me. You know what I'm saying? Just play the game. You know what I mean? Like that's not something that exists over here. For me to get a 10 over here, I'd be doing backflips unless I get lucky. You know what I'm saying? Like over here, you getting a baddie is getting lucky. You going to a third world country, it's just daily life. So if you guys like this video, like, comment, subscribe, jump into the Discord. I appreciate you guys. And please always leave your commentary, share your experiences. I love reading the comments and I love responding. Thank you very much. Take care.